Guys, in my previous video, I have spoken to you about visa which is called seasonal work visa, and that visa I've told you is for 9 months and you need a sponsorship for that visa. And in today's video, I will be speaking to you about another work visa which is called temporary work international relations visa subclass 403. So previous visa was also subclass 403 and this one is also subclass 403. And for this visa, I quickly tell you, this visa can last for up to 2 to 3 years, and the requirement for this visa are little different from the visa I've spoken to you about before. So let's go on to the detail for this visa. So same as last time, you need to type on google.com temporary work international relations subclass 403 and make sure you type exactly the same words I have typed here. So let's enter this. The first link you get, you need to click on this. So here you are onto this page. Now onto this page, I read some of the things for you. This visa stream allows a person to work in Australia under the terms and conditions of a bilateral agreement between the Australian government and the government of another country. The government of another country means the country you are from. So it has to be the agreement between the Australian government and your country government to qualify you for this work visa. You can stay until the time we specify in your visa grant notice, which may be up to 2 years, and the cost for applying for this visa is 315 Australian dollars. So be employed, engaged under the terms and conditions of bilateral agreement between Australia and another country, stay in Australia for up to 2 years, apply for the visa in or outside Australia. So let's go on to the details. Here let's look at the overview. Some of the details I have read it to you before, so which I will not read it again. So let's look at this one about this visa. So again, I have read this to you before, so I'm not gonna read it again. How long you can stay, I have given you that information as well. Stay longer, yeah, this is the one you need to know. You can't stay in Australia longer by extending this visa, but you could apply for a further subclass 403 visa under the government agreement stream if you meet the requirements. So you cannot be able to extend the visa you are already on to stay further for another 2 years or 3 years. You need to apply for a new visa. So what does that mean? That to stay longer on this visa, you cannot extend the same visa you are on for another 2 years. You need to apply for visa again, which is obviously subclass 403. Then you will be able to get a new visa and you can be able to stay for another 2 to 3 years. So include family. You can include members of the family unit in your application when you apply. Family members who apply for the visa must meet our health and character requirements. So you can bring your family members with you to Australia to live with you on this visa, and they need to meet a health and character requirement. So they need to go through a medical checkup to meet health requirement and to go through a police check to meet the character requirement. Cost is again $315. As I've said, apply from outside and inside of Australia. Processing time is your application can take longer if you do not fill it incorrectly, or you do not include all the documents they need, or the information they need you have not provided them. Then it can delay the process of your visa. It takes us time to verify your information. So we can't process your application if you do not pay the correct visa application charges. We will notify you if this is the case and invalidate your application. So you need to make sure that you pay the full application charges they are asking for. Now your obligation: if granted a visa, you and your family must comply with all visa conditions and Australian laws. Learn about conditions for the visa. So if you click on this link, you will see all the laws and terms and conditions you need to comply with to keep your visa valid. Now I go to the eligibility. So in this one, be engaged under terms and conditions of a bilateral agreement between Australia or an Australian state or territory government and another country you are from. So I have read this to you before, that this has to be signed by both your government and Australian government to qualify for this visa. Have the support of the signatories to the agreement. Your stay must have the support of both signatories of bilateral agreement you are in Australia to work under you don't need a sponsor. So with previous visa, I've spoken to you about the seasonal work visa. You needed a sponsorship letter, but with this visa, you do not need a sponsorship letter. All you need is the signature by the government of your country and the Australian government intend to meet the terms and conditions of the agreement. This include following any licensing or registration requirement as part of your employment. Be able to support yourself and any dependent. So you make sure you have enough money when you are going to Australia to support your family and yourself at the time of grant of your visa. Have this visa. Let's look at this one. This is very important, guys, that if you are applying in Australia, you must hold or in the last 28 days have held a temporary substantive visa. So what substantive visa is? A substantive visa is any visa that allows the visa holder to remain temporarily in Australia other than a bridging visa or a criminal justice or enforcement visa. Alright, meet our health requirement. I have spoken to you about this in detail in my previous video. Have an adequate health insurance. So you need to have your health insurance done. So let's read this little bit. You and your accompanying family are personally liable for all your health care costs while you are in Australia. Medical insurance help limit your financial ability. You must have an adequate health insurance for the whole of your stay to be granted this visa. Your health insurance should cover you for medically necessary treatment including transport. So I have spoken to you about the health insurance in my previous video, so please go through that video and you will be able to know that how you can fulfill the health insurance requirement step by step. Now go on to this option. Before you apply, if you need help with your application, get someone to act on your behalf. So let's look at this. Organize health exam. You might need to have health examinations. You can complete them before you apply or you can wait until after you apply. Find out the examinations you need and how to arrange them if you want to have them before you apply. So you need to, as I've told you, that you need to get your health check done, and if you will click on this link, it will give you the details of exactly how you can arrange for your health exams. Get help with your application. Only some people can help you with your application. If you appoint someone to give you immigration assistance, they must be registered migration agent, legal practitioner, or exempt person. You can appoint anyone to receive documents on your behalf relating to your visa matter. So you can appoint anyone from these people: registration migration agent, legal practitioner, or exempt person to receive document on your behalf. So exempt person, I'll tell you little bit that exempt person can be anyone, your friend, your brother, your sister, or anyone you know. You need to fill out a form, an agreement form, and you need to sign it and they need to sign it as well, and then they can be your exempt person. Just click on this. So who is an exempt person? Let's go on to this one. Click on this. Who can help with your application? Okay, exempt person. An exempt person is someone who is not a registered migration agent or legal practitioner and is one of the following. So exempt person is one of the following: your nominator or sponsor, a parliamentarian, a member of diplomatic mission, a member of consular post, a member of international organization. A person who is not a registered migration agent or legal practitioner must not charge you a fee for their help. It is unlawful to charge a fee of you or an exempt person. To appoint an exempt person to give you immigration assistance, have them complete Form 956, appointment of registered immigration agent, legal practitioner, exempt person. So this is the form need to be signed by your exempt person who you are nominating to deal with your application. When you appoint an exempt person to give your immigration assistance, we will discuss your application with them if necessary. Seek further information from them about your application if necessary. Your exempt person can also be your authorized recipient and receive documents on your behalf. You can nominate them on Form 956. When you appoint your exempt person as your authorized person, we will send any written communication about your application to them. Deem written communication sent to them as being received by you. Withdraw your appointment. Let us know if you no longer want immigration assistance from any exempt person. Attach Form 956 Appointment of Registered Migration Agent Legal Practitioner Exempt Person in IMI account. You can also send the paper form to the office that you sent your visa application to. If the exempt person is also your authorized recipient, you will need to also end their appointment to receive correspondence on your behalf. To do this, complete this form. To change your authorized recipient to someone else, complete this form. Change your appointment to someone else. You can change your appointment of an exempt person by completing a new form. Both you and your new appointee will need to sign this form. Translating and interpreting services. The translating and interpreting services TIS National is a service provided by us for people who do not speak English. If you need an interpreter, call TIS National on 131450. For more information, see TIS National. So if you click on this link, you will be able to see more information about the interpreter or translator you need help from. Step number 2. Gather documents to prove your identity and show you have your employment support, financial support and health insurance. You will need to prepare them to submit online. So in identity, provide accurate information. See what happens if you can't prove your identity or don't provide true information. So just have a look a little bit about this. So as I was speaking to you before, that we might not grant you visa for a period of 10 years if you or a member of your family unit have a visa application refused because of a failure to satisfy us as to your identity. We might not grant you visa for a period of 3 years if you or your family member have a visa application refused due to providing a bogus document or information that false and misleading. So I hope you have understood what I'm talking about. Chance to comment. We will notify you and ask you to provide comments within a specified time period if you do not satisfy us as to your identity, or we believe bogus document or false or misleading information has been provided, or you are affected by a non-grant period. Review right. If we refuse your visa application, you may have the right to have the decision reviewed by the Administrative Appeal Tribunal. Further visa application. If we refuse your visa application under PIC 4020, you can make a new visa application by the following restriction will apply. If you have left Australia since we refused your application and you do not hold a substantive visa, you can apply for certain specified visa listed from 026 limitation on application in visa. So if your visa has been refused, you can make a new visa application form, but there will be some restrictions applied to the new visa. You need to fill out this form to apply. Visa affected by PIC 4020. If you have applied for any of the following visa, you must satisfy skilled migration visa. Anyway, this information is not for you. Identity documents. Provide the pages of your current passport showing your photo, personal details, and passport issue and expiry dates. Also provide a national identity card if you have one. Proof of change of name. Documents that prove a change of name include a marriage or divorce certificate, change of name documents from Australia Registry of Birth, Death and Marriage or relevant overseas authority, or documents that show other names you have been known by. Work documents. Provide evidence that you meet the terms and conditions of a bilateral agreement between Australian government or state or territory government and foreign signatory. The evidence must show the proposed period of stay in Australia, that your stay in Australia has a support of both Australian signatory and foreign signatory, and that the foreign signatory has been consulted. The Australian signatory is satisfied you will be employed or engage in accordance with Australian labour laws and practices unless that requirement is stated in the agreement. If the foreign signatory is not the national government of relevant foreign country, you could be asked to provide evidence that national government of that country does not oppose your stay in Australia. If not stated in the agreement, provide evidence that Australian signatory is satisfied that you will be employed or engaged in accordance with Australian labour laws and practices. If bringing family with you, make sure the bilateral agreement you are entering Australia under allows the family members too. The signatories to the agreement agrees to their stay by specifying them in the letter of support. We also need copies of your qualification, CV, curriculum vitae, registration or license required for your employment or engagement if applicable. Character documents, an Australian police certificate if you have spent a total of 12 months or more in Australia in the last 10 years since you turned 16. We only accept complete disclosure national police certificate issued by Australian Federal Police. We do not accept standard disclosure certificate or national police certificate issued by an overseas police certificate from every country, including your home country, where you spent a total of 12 months or more in the last 10 years since you have turned 16. Military service record or discharge paper if you have served in the armed force of any country, telling us you are getting help. So I've spoken to you about this before. Upload your written notification or your form to IMI account. So IMI account is actually the page where you need to register and apply for this visa. And here upload your written notification or your forms to IMI account. So IMI account, I have not spoken to you about this before. Let's have a look what IMI account is. IMI account is that if you apply for any visa online, you need to register with this IMI account. So use this guide to help you prepare, submit, manage your visa or citizenship application. When applying, follow the steps on your visa or citizenship page. The steps are personalized for each type. By clicking on this, you need to create an IMI account, and once your account has been created, you apply for that work visa, and any further documents like your health check, your police check, or any documents you need for this application form, you need to go to your IMI account and attach those documents there, and then Australian immigration will be able to see those documents. So this is the short information about the IMI account. Partner documents. So partner documents, if you have listed your spouse on your visa application, you will need to provide the following: identity documents, character documents, documents about other relationships if applicable. So you need to provide your current marriage certificate, enough document to prove you have been in de facto relationship with your partner for at least 12 months before you apply. Documents that prove your de facto relationship include joint bank statement, billing account on your joint names, joint lease or mortgages, documents that show your partner has lived at the same address as you. So these are some proofs you need to show to prove your relationship with your partner. Dependent under 18 documents. So for every dependent under 18 years of age who is applying with you, provide your child identity documents, proof of your relationship with them, like a birth certificate, your child character documents if applicable. Dependent over 18 documents. So for every dependent 18 years or older applying with you, identity documents, documents about their other relationship if applicable, character document. Proof of dependency. You need to prove that this person is dependent on you. So let's say if this person is above 18 years of age, you need to prove it that this person is dependent on you, and they need to complete this form 47A, detailed of a child and other dependent family member aged 18 years or over. You must also prove this person has been financially dependent on you for at least 12 months before you apply. You could provide proof they live with you, their tax record, proof they are currently studying. So these are some dependency requirement for people who are above 18. So now prepare your documents. Translate. Have all non-English document translated into English. Translator in Australia must be accredited by the National Accreditation Authority for Translator and Interpreters. Translators outside Australia do not have to be accredited, but on each translation they must include their full name, address, telephone number, qualification and experience in the language they are translating. These details must be in English. So you must make sure that any documents you provide, whether it's birth certificate, marriage certificate, or any document, it has to be translated in English, and the person who translate those documents need to provide their details as well as I've just read it out to you. Scan or photograph documents. Scan or photograph all documents, English and non-English, in color. The scan and photos must be clear. If document is more than one page, save it all on one file. All the documents you attach to your visa application form, make sure it has to be in color. Apply for the visa. Provide accurate information. See what happens if you can't prove your identity or don't prove true information. So I have read this to you before. Apply for visa online in IMI account. So with seasonal work visa, I have made the video before. For that visa you had to apply online, and the applying online link was just there on the first page. But for this visa you need to create an account on this link, IMI account. So here on IMI account, alert. So I won't read this information to you. You can read it in your free time. But here, if you already have an account, you need to type your username and password here. Or if you want to create an account for the first time, you need to click on this, create IMI account. So here, services required. What type of online services you need? Individual, organization, including agents. So if you are creating an account and you are not getting help from any immigration agent or any family members you are getting the help from, you need to tick on this. Otherwise you need to tick on this. Here you need to write down your family name, given name, phone number, mobile number, email address, and confirm your email address, and then click continue, and then you will go through different steps to create your IMI account, and then from there onwards you can be able to apply for this working visa. So that's how you create your IMI account. Now go back to the same page. After you apply, what will happen after you apply? We will let you know when we have received your application and documents. Status update. We can't give updates on applications within the standard processing time. You can check if we need more information from your IMI account. So if you go on to your IMI account, you will be able to see the updates on your application process. But as they said that they cannot give update on applications within the standard processing time. Travel after you apply. I have spoken to you about these before in my previous video. You can go through that video and have a look. And then health exam, biometrics, attached more information. I have spoken to you about all that in my previous video. Stay lawful, add families. I have spoken to you about this. Mistakes on your application, let us know as soon as you can if you made a mistake on your application. Help with your applications. I have spoken to you about this. Tell us if anything changes. So you need to fill out a separate form if anything changes in your life, for example a birth of a child, or change of email address or postal address, or your contact details. You need to fill out a separate form to let them know that your situation has changed. Visa outcome. We will let you know our decision in writing. If we grant your visa, we will tell you your visa grant number, the date your visa start, and your visa conditions. Keep your copy of the decision with you when you are in Australia. If we refuse your visa, we will tell you why we refused and whether you have a right to review your decisions. We will not refund the application charges if we refuse your application. So the charges you have paid for this visa will not be refunded if your application is refused. When you have this visa, coming to Australia, before you leave, check your travel documents. You must have a valid visa to enter Australia, a valid passport or other travel documents. At the border, completing an incoming passenger card. All people arriving Australia must complete incoming passenger card. I have spoken to you before in my previous video, so you can go through that video again. In Australia, so what you can do when you have the visa: be engaged under the terms and condition of bilateral agreement between Australian government and Australian state, territory government, and a government of another country. Travel to and from as many times as you want while your visa is valid. Bring family members with you if permitted under the agreement and specified in the letter of support from Australian signatory. To see specific conditions and work entitlement, use Vivo. So click onto this link. What you must do on this visa: you and your family member must meet all visa conditions and obey Australian laws. See, by clicking onto this link, you will be able to see the terms and conditions, and all these information I have read many times to you before. So these were all the informations you needed to fulfill to apply for this visa. And on this Australian immigration website page, I have read all the important information you needed, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you. Bye.